Hello, everyone. Welcome to Monday Sprints. Hello. How are you? What are you up to? What are we doing tonight? Let me know. If you haven't been here before, my name is Julie. This is Monday Night Sprints. You can read, you can be productive, you can choose your own adventure, whatever you are planning on doing. We do 3 sprints, all about an hour, and chat in between. So that's how things work around here. I know that I put The Isle in the Silver Sea in the thumbnail. Here's the thing. I have read this book so sparsely. I started it for the last leg of the amazing readathon, and then I read everything else except this all weekend, and now it doesn't really, I think it could count for the current leg, but I think I need a break. So I'm going to restart this at some point because I'm really enjoying it, but I'm not enjoying it right this second. So what I have moved on to is Hemlock and Silver by T. Kingfisher. This is a little shorter, and it's something that I've been meaning to read. So I have picked this up for now. I also need to watch a movie tonight because my movie club is meeting on Thursday, and I have the DVD out from the library, and so I need to watch it tonight because I am lending it to one of our other movie club members over the next couple of days because we haven't been able to find it on streaming, which is fine. We usually pick something on streaming and it goes off the streaming service we pick anyway. Things just get rotated around is what I'm learning. So that's been a thing. But that's kind of my plan tonight. So I think I'll probably read in the first sprint and do some tidying, chores, what have you, and then we might sit down and watch the movie for either the second or the third sprint, and then I'll finish it once sprints are over. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But let's say hello to everyone who's here. I see hello, Anne. Hello. Hello, Lucina. How are you? Hello to Neil. Hello, Lola. How are you? Reading Mandy, a middle grade book by Julie Andrews. Yes, that Julie Andrews for sightseeing. Oh, very nice. Is this one of the ones? I know she writes books with her daughter. Is that one of them? I'm not sure if she just. I feel like I know she does picture books with her daughter, but is this something different? I guess is what my question is. Reading The Divorce by Frida McFadden. Very nice. I have never read a Frida McFadden. Is this your first, or are you enjoying your experience if it's a second or third one? Migraine is finally starting to abate. Oh, very nice. I'm so happy to hear this, Tennille. So I'm hoping to tackle the rest of today's pages of Day of Fallen Night. I hope that it continues to lessen for you and you can enjoy, your evening and relax and read your book, because that's not fun. Never fun. Movie club, how fun. What are you watching? We are actually watching, so it's one of the movie club members' birthday. So when it's your birthday month, you get to pick whatever, you get to pick one movie and it's whatever you want, within reason, that we all have access to it. There's nothing that's too crazy about it. But he chose Spy Kids 3, if you are familiar with the Spy Kids franchise. So he chose that one, which I think will be fun, which is the one I'm going to watch tonight. And then we usually choose a backup, which is Challengers, which came out, I think, last year, and it has Zendaya in it. So I will probably watch that in a couple of, either probably tomorrow night, because on Wednesday I have plans, and then Thursday is club. So that's kind of the plan for that. But yeah, we usually choose a couple because we've had trouble in the past where somebody can't access something, or it goes off streaming completely and then we don't have a plan for it. So we usually choose a couple of things. It is fun. We started it a couple of years ago, kind of to just keep a friend group alive of people that were kind of that was work based, and then a few people left. So we started it a few years ago now, and it's been really fun. We meet once a month or so and watch a couple of movies. It's also helped me see movies that I wouldn't have picked on my own, but actually turned into if not favorite movies, movies that I really appreciate that I watched. So it's been really, really interesting. Day of Fallen Night here as well. Very nice, very nice. Where were you in Silver Sea when you started to sag? One of the hosts was just saying they felt it started to drag at 60%. I know people have mixed feelings about that one. Let's see. I was on chapter 10. I was only about 100 pages into it. I only read this much. So it's not necessarily that I thought it was a little slow to start, is what I'll say. I think that I thought it was kind of slow to start, and it was a very lyrical book, which I think might work for me better in July when I'm not trying to read so quickly. And I'm not necessarily like rushing myself to read other things. This just was something that I thought I would need to take a little bit more time with. And so I think I'm just going to restart it because I knew I was missing things as I was going, as I was listening to it. I knew that I was not giving it the time it deserved. So I think I'll like it when I restart it. That was something else recently that I was sort of having okay feelings about it, and then I restarted it and I really enjoyed it, and I kind of feel like how that's going to go. The first one she wrote, and it's from 1971. She wrote it by herself. Wow, it's been on your TBR for ages. Very nice. I didn't realize that she had like, other books from earlier, I guess is what I mean. Like that I thought that it was all like later in her career when she was acting less, doing more voice acting and stuff like that. So very nice, very cool. Huge Frida fan. This is like my 17th book of hers. 2 short stories included in the count. Very nice. That's very cool. I love to find an author that you just love, because I kind of have this feeling like Shauna McGuire and Ilona Andrews at this point, who I've read like so many books from. Even if I'm reading a new book by them, if it's in a series of theirs or whatever, or just like a familiar genre, it's kind of like a pre-installed comfort read. So like you just get like, a nice way to read and a nice way to get into a new book, but it's also a little familiar. I don't know if that's how Frida's books work, because I know her books are kind of wild, but you kind of have some expectations. Yeah, it's happened every day for the past week. Oh no, I hope it's not a summer migraine trend. It's a weather triggered one, I think. Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry, Tennille. That's a lot. That is a lot to carry every day. Whew. Yeah. I hope it's not like a trend for you, that it will ease up and it can just kind of be less. I've never seen a Spy Kids movie, but that sounds fun. Yeah, they are very fun, at least in my memory. I know I've only seen the first 2, and I know that I haven't seen either one of the first 2 for years. So this should be an interesting experience. But I'm gonna see. We'll see how it goes. I like tennis, so I'm interested in challengers, but also while she's a great actress and picks good movies, they tend to be heavier. That's very true. Very like even the what's the show she's on? Euphoria, even that I think is heavier, or like deals with heavier topics. Even though people like love that show, I've never seen it. So I'm interested in this. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, Zendaya is great, but I never feel like watching anything she's in, because yeah, like she does tend to pick some more serious roles. This is probably the more lightest thing I've seen her in or heard of her in, except maybe the Marvel movies, because she was in the Spider-Man movies. But yeah, so I don't see her in a ton of stuff, but I know she's a phenomenal actress. Written like 3 middle grade novels, if I'm not mistaken. Wow, very nice. Oh, it's been very enthusiastic about lots and lots of ads lately. Oh my gosh, that is a lot. Oh my goodness. They are definitely trying to make you watch the ads. That's a lot. Hey Paco, hello, how are you? Going to listen to Savage Bloom. Very nice. Hello Glenda. I'm reading Gone for Christmas by Georgia K. Boone. Nice. We were talking about I have to watch 2 movies for a movie club that I'm in. One is Spy Kids 3 and one is Challengers. So very, very different movies. But usually what happens is one of the movies is not available for some reason, so we just pick a couple. I might actually get to watch both this month though, so we'll see. All right. So I think we have reached the end of the comments for now. So I will put us into our first sprint, get this banner up, and we will go for 60 minutes, and I will see you in an hour. Hello, hello, everyone, and welcome back. How was your sprint? Let me know how you did. I saw we gained a row. Hello, row. How are you this evening? What did I do? What did we do in our sprint? I kept reading Hemlock and Silver. I'm on page 56. I also checked out the roadblock that got posted in the Amazing Readathon. So if you haven't seen that yet, check it out. And I did get my laundry started, and I put new sheets on my bed because that was I needed to get that done before like 10 o'clock when I need to go to bed. So that was my sprint. It was pretty low key, just kind of doing a few things that I needed to get done while listening to my audiobook. So that's about where I am. Let's see. Glenda's current book is For the Fourth Leg. Very nice, very nice. Over halfway through, very nice. Also did the roadblock. Yeah, I like this one. I like the roadblocks. They're a little fun. And hello, Hillary. Just got home of putting away some laundry. I'm also doing laundry tonight. I need to remember to go down in the next sprint and move things over to the dryer so that things are dry. It's always the hurdle for us, right? Or at least for me. I always struggle to put things in the dryer and then remember to get them out of the dryer. I remember to take them downstairs. Finished today's pages of A Day of Fallen Night and left comments for Anne. I'm looking forward to her comments when she's ready. We're at 74%, so lots is happening. Yes, I feel like you are getting to the point where it's like all the action, all of the pieces are coming together. Anne is still reading and catching up, but excellent. Oh, I hope you guys are having a good time with it. It seems like you are, or at least like I think last week you were saying you guys were enjoying it, so I'm hoping that's still true. Yeah, very nice. I'm glad everybody's having good time with their books. I'm very interested to see where this goes. So far, I really like it, which is, I don't want to say surprising because it's all the tropes that I like, but I was a little nervous because I don't know. I feel like T. Kingfisher is hit and miss for a lot of people. It's mostly been hits for me, but like I also am nervous when it's something different. Like I've been reading a couple of her series and stuff lately, so kind of a bit of a safe bet with the series. Might switch to either Witch Hat Atelier or In the Hands of the Goddess in the next one. Ooh, nice. That sounds nice. Either like manga or In the Hands of the Goddess. I know this title. I just can't see. Ah, yes. I was like, I know this title. Tamora Pierce. Attilia. Okay, very nice. Yes, I I got there. I had to look it up. I was like, this is familiar to me. I love Tamora Pierce, so I'm sad I didn't realize that's what it was at first. I'm glad you're liking Hemlock and Silver. Some people weren't pleased with it. I kind of heard mixed things. I think that's why I was feeling kind of nervous about starting it, but I really like it so far. The main character is really interesting, and I feel like it has the very distinct T. Kingfisher brand of humor in it. So I'm enjoying it so far. We'll see how we haven't really gotten into super heavy plot things, but I really like all of the world. I like the tone of it, that the main character is, I feel like we're telling a lot of different stories. Like she's telling us about her past. We're hearing about what's happening currently right now with the king and his daughter. And she's also talking about like the history of the city and the world and the traditions. Like I love that kind of world building where you're just kind of like in conversation with the main character about it. So I'm having a good time. A fantastic series. I'm going to try the Bone Season down the road a bit, also by Samantha Shannon. This is one that I would really like to try at some point. I have not. Actually, don't know if I've read. I DNF'd this series that you guys are reading, but I'm interested to try the Bone Season because I feel like it's just something that would work for me. Like it sounds very, very interesting to me. So we'll see. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I've been reading The Book That Broke the World by Mark Lawrence. It's been letting me down a little bit. Oh no. I don't know that I've tried Mark Lawrence. So I can't I sometimes get him a little confused with Robert Jackson Bennett, only because they're both like fantasy authors. But that's too bad. Is this part of I can look. Um, okay. It wasn't in the series that I was thinking of from him. So, oh, it is a sequel? Oh, that's even worse that it's letting you down. Like when you like the first book enough to continue on, but then the second book is like not as good. Yes, In the Hands of the Goddess. I read and reread the series as a teen in early 20s and hadn't read them since. Yeah, I actually posted this in speaking of roadblocks, I think I posted it as the one roadblock about when we said like the book that got us into reading because I truly don't know that I remember reading a lot of things when I was younger, but when I was in middle school, I remember going to the library over and over and over again and checking these books out. So I always kind of cite them as a book that, really got me into reading because even if I was reading before, yeah, it was one that definitely like spurred me into fantasy. Nothing by T. Kingfisher has been below 3 stars for me, but I refuse to read her horror. Yeah, she has such a wide variety of things that you can read. You can definitely like sit out on one or two of the genres, or if you don't like a series or something from her. I feel like I'm in a similar boat that I don't think I've had like a bad experience with one of her books as far as I can remember. I've had a couple of 5 stars, a bunch of strong 4 stars, and we'll see where this one ends. But Nettle and Bone was like one of my favorite books of last year. I just absolutely adored that book. So yeah, but I've read a little bit of her horror. I've like dabbled in it, but I haven't read a ton of it. I think the What Moves the Dead is the most that I've dabbled in it, that like series. But I do want to try more of it because horror can be something I do like. So we'll see. Yeah, I'm also sad it's not as good as the first one for Hillary. I've heard a few people say the first book is the best. They're on my TBR, but I'm trying not to expect too much. Yeah, that's kind of sometimes you just have to set your expectations in the right spot. Hi, Paula. Hello, hello. Thank you for popping in. Hope you're doing well. I haven't dared to try the Bone Season yet. I know she re-released them, yeah, recently. Yeah, something was updated with that. I want to look into what was updated. I feel like it was because, well, I shouldn't speak when I don't know for sure, but I thought it was basically like they wanted to take the plot a different direction, so they rewrote the first few books. I'm not 100% sure. But I know there's 4 books. I say I know, and then I'm like, I don't know. The Bone Season. No, there's like 6 out, or well, like there's 5 out, and then there's supposed to be a 6th one, apparently. 4, 5, yeah, 6 is coming out. There are 7 listed on Goodreads. That doesn't mean anything, but there are 7 installments listed on Goodreads. So, yeah, it's one that I would like to try. It's been around for a while. I just haven't gotten to it. 60%, very nice. Oh, yep, don't know how long the series is supposed to be. Hello to everyone. In the Hands of the Goddess is the most generic of all the titles. It's true. All the rest in the quartet would have given. That's true. Like the rest, I feel like I would have recognized right off the bat, but In the Hands of the Goddess just did not ring ring any bells there for a second. Yeah, yeah. Do you remember it was planned as a 7-book series when the first one came out? So it seems like it might be the same. So it's basically like that's gonna take a while. I'll get to it one day. Yeah, I think I had it on. Oh, there's an interview with Samantha Shannon on YouTube where she talks about it. Basically, she was like 19 and was not satisfied with its quality. That's similar to it's very similar to Elizabeth May, I think is the author's name, who wrote the Falconer trilogy, which was a YA trilogy when it came out, and I have always had it on my TBR because it sounds really interesting. But I never ended up reading it. And she recently re-released those books as more of a new adult, young adult. I shouldn't not young adult, but like new adult, more adult type story, like with more edits and stuff. Because she talked about it, I think, on Threads, where she said that like basically she wanted to write it more for a new adult leaning audience, but at the time there wasn't that type of market for it, so she ended up editing it down to YA. So I'm interested to see if I can try those eventually too, because I think they sound like fun fantasy books. Very tempted with the Bone Season, but also a little concerned. It's supposed to be urban fantasy slash dystopian, but also lots of the people who love and mostly read romantasy really like it. Interesting. Very interesting. Because urban fantasy would be right up my alley. But yeah, the depending on how the romance is, it could be a hit or a miss. The first book came out in 2013, so it's taking a while. Yeah, yeah, and those books are big. They're large books. So I tend not to like most romance heavy books. That's fair. That's fair. And like you said, depending on it's like I agree that who I see read it and has enjoyed it are the more romantasy reading readers. Yeah. uh, so we'll see. We'll see. Enjoyed the Bone Season prequel and have been picking up nice used copies as I find them. That's a really good idea because um, there's lots of, I'm sure there's a bunch out there because there was such a big gap between, I don't know, book like probably three and if five is out now, probably three and four or four and five. Like, there was a big gap there, I know. So, like, I'm sure some people thought it wasn't ever going to be finished. So, there's probably a used market out there somewhere. Very nice. Very nice. Like, let's see. It's 7:54. So, yeah, I will put us into another sprint. I need to go down and check on my laundry and probably start my movie in this next sprint. We'll see. Let's see. Library sales are hit and miss, but there are gems. This is very true. And you have reminded me of something. I have to message a friend. We were talking about a library sale recently, and I just saw a billboard for it. Um, that we didn't miss it this year. So I have to tell her about that. Okay. Um, into the next sprint we go. So I will see you all in 60 minutes. Hello, friends. Hello, and welcome back from our sprint. Let me know how you did. Let us know what you're working on if you've just joined us, since we had a few people join us during that sprint. And Katie and Andrea, I did turn on my redirect. So thank you for reminding me to do that, because I didn't know that was a thing. But now everything's playing. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I am watching Spy Kids 3 for my movie club, which is what was playing in the background here. But I feel like we're halfway through. I'm watching it on 1.5 speed because things are moving slowly. But I also listened to a bit more of Hemlock and Silver. So we have made it through a little bit more of that. I basically just finished the chapter I was on after we spoke last time, and then I turned on the movie. So let's see, I'm at the end of chapter 5. It's just starting chapter 6. So still enjoying, very curious about what's going on here. Can't wait to continue on. But let's see who joined us and what everybody else got up to. Ro went down a Slater rabbit hole this past weekend. She's a new pop music artist similar to Charlie XCX, but more grungy. She really is an acquired taste. Interesting. I love Charlie XCX, so might have to check that out. Hello, Andrea. Hello. Canes? Let me know if I'm saying anything incorrectly, or what you'd like to be called if you're new here. Working on editing a video currently, but I finished Field Guide for the Formerly Villainous earlier. Very interesting. That sounds like cozy fantasy. Very fun. Let's see. Field Guide for the Formerly Villainous. Ooh, it's a series. That is such a cute cover. Stardew Valley meets Studio Ghibli. I was right, cozy fantasy. That sounds adorable. Very, very fun. I'm going to keep that on my radar. Hello, Katie. We talked about this. Okay, good to know for next time. I will make sure that stays on. Thank you, Katie. And yeah. Always all the gold stars to Andrea. We love Andrea. Hello, Sarah. Currently reading the Bone Season. Sarah, we were just talking about the Bone Season and how none of us have read it, but we're all curious about it. So I'm assuming, since you're so deep in the series, that you enjoy it. The romance so far is very light and not a major plot point. Okay, very interesting. We love this. So that kind of answers some of the questions we were talking about in the last chatty bit about, how much romance is in it, since a lot of people that we know like it are romantasy readers. But you are not a romantasy reader. Oh, no, you are a romantasy reader currently in a romantasy slump. And I find the series to be refreshing. All very good things to know. Okay, I love this. This is going higher and higher on my TBR, honestly. I'm just very curious about it overall. Let's see. Hello, Kirsten, and the kitchen sink. Just joining, reading This Story Might Save Your Life by Tiffany Crum. Very nice. Are you enjoying it? And just finished my pages of A Day of Fallen Night. I'm going to collect my thoughts and listen to Tennille's after the chatty bit. Yeah, like get everything kind of just sorted in your brain before you turn on. My problem whenever I'm like buddy reading, especially when I'm like talking consistently with my buddies, is I like start to talk before I have everything together, before I have all my thoughts in a row, all my ducks in a row, basically. And then I'm kind of like thinking out loud as I'm talking. I need to get better at that, because I do usually like turn on the talkie bit and then I'm like, what was I going to say? But for tonight, Sarah is reading arc of Rumors and Whiskey by Victoria Wilder. 57% in and liking it, but think I prefer the family from the Bourbon Boys series to this family. Very interesting. I think these are both cowboy romances, if I'm correct. So very nice. Read the first 29% in the Hand of the Goddess and watched a booktube video. Very nice, everyone. Love that. Only one chapter left. Oh, you're going to finish up tonight, Luisina. Like, for sure. We learn something new every day. I didn't know it was a thing either. Yeah, I didn't realize that that was like, I like, in the back of my mind, I knew you could like put in to redirect, but I didn't have to give permission to be able to be redirected to. So, new things every day. Reading Beneath, but have been very distracted tonight. I understand this. Like I was doing um, chores in the first sprint. I was reading. I have to watch this movie for movie club. It's like Ken, as my name is Kendall. Got it. Okay. Thank you for explaining. Did you like that one? Let us know. Made it to 58% in the book that broke the world. Still not loving it. A little bit of something happened and I don't really care. Oh no. I feel like honestly, that's the worst. Like not when you hate what's happening, but when you just don't care about what's happening. That just ends up being like the worst. Let's see. Okay. StreamYard's fighting me just a tad, but I moved on to Kirsten's comment saying, enjoying it so far. This story might save your life, but also on page 4. Hey, sometimes you can get a vibe right off the bat, and no. This is why I write down my thoughts during buddy reads instead of recording them, also because I don't like doing audio. Totally fair, totally fair. I tend to go back and forth, honestly. I've been trying to do better about writing notes because, especially with a large cast of characters, I learned this during my buddy read with Anne of the Rook and Rose series because during the last book, I actually took more notes and it helped so much more. It helped so much more. Like I should have done that the whole time. As the series goes on, the romance is coming more to the front, and I believe the book she is currently working on does focus more on it. It's very slow burn, but the dystopian elements are definitely the major theme of the series. Okay, I like this. I'm very, very curious. Between it being urban fantasy and dystopian and having a little bit of romance in it, it definitely like has perked my ears over the years. I just haven't ever taken the initiative to read it. So, very nice. Very nice. Going to try to actually read this last sprint, so wish me luck. I do wish you luck. I hope that we all like, Louisina can get through her last few chapters. I'll finish my movie and then be able to go back to the book, and then you can actually read. Everybody just have a good time in that last section. I would love this, honestly. Like I'd love to like read it with a group because like I said, it's been lurking on my TBR for a while that I feel like if I had the motivation to read it for a buddy read, you know, but maybe eventually we can get to that point. All right, let's change this banner so that we are going into our last sprint and we will do one more hour. We'll come back and do a little more chatty and then that'll be it for me tonight. But I will see you all in 60 minutes. Hello, everyone. Welcome back from our final sprint. Let me know how you did and how that sprint went for you, whatever you decided to do, if you read, if you just hung out. I finished my movie, and what I realized is I borrowed this movie. If you weren't here at the beginning, I was watching this movie and it's not on streaming. So I borrowed it from my library. And what I realized is that there is a 3D version, and I tried to watch that. And I got about 2/3 of the way through, and I realized that there was a 2D version in the as a second disc. So we finished up the movie. And then I read 2 more chapters of Hemlock and Silver. So now I am at the start of chapter 8. And we're what? 100, just almost 100 pages. I'm on page 92. So I'm still very much enjoying this and finding it very, very interesting. I'm glad to finally get to it since I pre-ordered this book, so I'm glad I'm finally reading it, even though it's been a little bit since that it's been out. But let's see how everyone did. My comments are jumping around. Let's see, where were we? I'm also in. This was about the buddy read. We'll have to figure that out. It seems like it would be fun. Sarah says that it was also a series that had been hanging out on the TBR, but too intimidating to read. The only reason I started it was because Rainey, of all people, picked it for her Patreon series, but she hard noped it pretty early in the first book, but I kept going. That's promising to me because Rainey and I often have opposite opinions. So sometimes she's one of those people that if she decides she doesn't enjoy a book, like depending on the reason, like if it's just not her vibe, I will try it because I'm like there's a few people like that I think we've kind of coined the term anti-rec now. Like if they like it or if they hate it, I might like it. So we'll see. Lucinda finished her book and went off to dinner, but 3 stars, pretty solid rating for that. I think it was 30-year-old middle grade, pretty solid there. Thanks for hanging out, Ro. We'll see you soon. Made it to page 47 of This Story Might Save Your Life and still really enjoying it. Excellent. Listened to Anne's messages and watched YouTube. Bedtime right after this. Same for me. I'm gonna get ready for bed and curl up, and I might listen to like one more chapter of Hemlock and Silver. We've just gotten to a point where I like want to see what's going to happen next. But then right to sleep. Read a little bit and started my bedtime routine. Very nice. Was more distracted for the first half, but finally read 33 pages for the second half. Very nice. Still need to read Hemlock and Silver. Yes, so far I'm really enjoying it. The main character is very funny. Like I find her inner monologue, like she's an awkward person and she spends a lot of time on her own as a scholar. So she's a bit of an awkward person, but it reminds me of myself in some ways. So I'm chuckling at her a little bit. Made it to 61%, just a few more pages in. Very nice. Yeah, thanks for being here, Andrea. Interesting. Spy Kids 3 is on like 3 streaming services here in Canada, but licensing is different here than the US. Netflix, Prime, Apple. Granted, I have none of these, but that's what Google says. Yeah, I think it might have been, if I remember correctly when I was looking it up, that it's on a streaming service. I guess I was saying it wasn't on streaming. I should have said it's not on a streaming service I have, and like one that was like easily addable. Like it was one that I would have had to pay like a higher subscription fee than I wanted to. So, but I think, like I said, I was kind of explaining this at the beginning, we tend to kind of pick a couple of movies, and I think when we initially looked, it wasn't anywhere. And then when I looked here the last few days after I got it from the library, it was somewhere, but like I said, it was expensive to subscribe. So kind of both things. But thanks to Neil. I hope you have a really good night, and I hope your migraine continues to like chill out. Okay. Well, I think that is it for me tonight. Thank you everyone for hanging out, and I will be back next week for more sprints. Hopefully I'll have a video out this week. I was editing my wrap up last week and it fought me. I exported it twice, and both times there was something wrong with it. So we're going to try that again this week, but I gave it a few days to give myself a break, but we're going to try to get back to it this week. But thank you all for being here, and I will see you next time.